My name is Joe McClellan. I'm the worship pastor here at Point Baptist Church, and I just wanted to give my testimony. I was raised in a pastor's home, saved at a very young age, saved at the age of 7. I grew up always being in the church, always heard the truth of Christ, about the love of Christ, being scared sometimes of going to hell more than I was about being excited about Jesus. But through those years of growing up in a pastor's home, I got to see a lot, experience a lot. So when it came time for me to go to college and look into going into a career, the last thing I wanted to do was go into the ministry. So God had put a love for music and singing in my heart at an early age. So I always did that in school and in church. And so when it came time for college, I auditioned, got a scholarship to sing in choir and show choir and those kinds of things, and opera and all that, just whatever the university needed me to do. So I did that and helped pay for school. And so I went all the way through undergrad and grad school. And one day I was in rehearsals, and God just laid hard on me like a ton of bricks that maybe this wasn't what I was supposed to do in my life. I was miserable. I was just sitting there taking notes during the rehearsal, and I hate this. I don't want to do this. So there were so many reasons. There was the aspect of, at the time I was still single, and I really wanted to get married, have a family one day. I didn't see that life being conducive to that. But more than that, it was I wanted the music that I made and the things that I did with my life to have eternal value, to mean something, not just be a vain accomplishment for myself. So I began to pray. I called home, had about a month left before I had to go back to Memphis. I was going to University of Memphis for grad school. So I called my parents, and my dad was pastoring a church in Mississippi at the time. So I called them and I said, I really want y'all to pray with me, pray for me. I don't know what to do. I really feel like God's changing what I'm going to do with my life, which was scary because I had prepped so much for this one career, and it seemed like God was going to take me in a different direction. And it wasn't very long after I started back to school that a position came open at a church not far from Memphis, and I became the part-time worship pastor there at Oakland First Baptist, just east of Memphis. And I was there for about a year, and then I was getting ready to go into a full-time job, looking for those things, and I really was hitting a lot of dead ends. So I looked on the Southern Baptist website, found Point Baptist Church, or Inner Point at the time, was looking for a worship pastor. So I sent my resume and just happened to see that Pastor Tim was an Alabama fan on the website. So I just put, I don't remember exactly, something like Roll Tide or something like that in my email. And he wrote me back and said how we'd like to meet and talk. So I met him up in North Alabama, and we spent a whole day together. And it was just like, it was such a great day we really had similar backgrounds growing up. We really had similar taste in music, and it just really seemed like a good match. So I really prayed that God would set that up for us. So fast forward, here I am. I started, that was the fall of 2007. I started at Point January of 2008, and it's just been wonderful to be in this fellowship, not only on staff, but also just as a member. Through that period of time, I met the girl I was going to marry here at Point, Bridget. We got married, and now we, back in 2010, had our first child, and now we have our son's on the way, due at the end of May. So just the story of God's grace and His leading in my life, and me submitting to that when it seemed like it really didn't make sense, and really what I thought I never would want, I got to do. And now I can't imagine doing anything else but serving here at Point. This fellowship, I have such a love for God's church and for working for God's people, not only serving in music, but serving in many other ministry areas here at Point. It's a good life, and it's been a good time here at Point. And so I look forward to many more years of ministry here, of loving people to the point of life. So that's my story.
Through joy and pain we worship, with heart and